Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Hey, Was.
Good. We're just getting ready to get started here in the next minute or two.
Awesome. Can everyone in here go ahead and retweet this link? Not too often we're honored with the presence of Polygon and Chronos, and I think there's a lot here to learn for everyone listening. So if you wouldn't mind, let's go ahead and retweet the link, and then we'll get started in a couple minutes.
Hey, Brian.
I'm just having a little problems loading it up on Twitter. I'm here though. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, can hear you crystal clear. So it looks like everybody's here. So why don't we kick this off? So for those who don't know me, I'm TJ. I'm the Director of Communications at EverRise. I just want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. DeFi Talks is one of our favorite segments, and we're pleased to have speakers from both Cronos and Polygon with us today. We're hosting this with Benzinga and David. So David, Brian from Benzinga, and Waso, if you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Sure, I'll go first. I'm Waso. I'm Director of Business Development at EverRise. Very happy to be here. I said this a couple of minutes ago. We are not, very often get the ability to ask, projects that have main nets, specifically like Chronos and Polygon, about their vision and, how they're building their ecosystems. And I'm truly blessed to be here and very, very excited.
Love that. Brian?
Yeah, I'm Brian. I work at Benzinga. I'm also extremely excited to be a part of this talk and this whole project that we're doing. I'm also super excited to talk to Cronos because I've been following Crow since, Crypto.com since it pretty much launched, and I think it's super exciting that we have their mainnet on and somebody to talk about it and whatnot. And same with OX Polygon and or 0x Polygon. And I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to talk with everybody. It's going to be a really, really good one.
Amazing. David?
Hey guys, nice to be back on here with all you familiar faces. My name is David Gokhshtein. I am the founder and CEO of Gokhshtein Media. I am also the CEO of Pack Protocol. I am also a brand consultant for EverRise. I've been in the space for quite a while, and I'm just looking forward to talking to both Crow and Polygon tonight about DeFi.
Absolutely. I think everyone's super excited to hear what everyone has to say. So Ella and Aishwarya, if you guys would like to introduce yourselves.
Hello, everyone. This is Aishwarya. So I am working with Polygon in there as a blockchain specialist. So I represent, or I come in from a background from where we are going out and we are helping a lot of blockchains and a lot of solutions to build on us. And it would be pretty exciting to see and hear a lot of things that are going on in the community to see how we can go out and help.
I
Hey
love that.
everyone.
Hey, Ella.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Ella. I lead the ecosystem partnerships at Chronos. We're probably like the new kids in town. Chronos is still pretty young. We launched our mainnet on November the 8th, just about 3.5 weeks ago, and already seeing tremendous traction and support from the community. So Chronos is the first Cosmos EVM chain for DeFi, NFT, and Metaverse. Also, we have the luck to be backed by one of the big names in the crypto space, Crypto.com, on supporting us with the fiat on-ramp and off-ramp, and also have access to their massive user base in their ecosystem and beyond as well. Thanks for inviting me.
Thanks a ton for coming on board. Both of you, we really appreciate it. David, I'll let you kick the show off with some questions.
All right, let's get on with it. Okay, I'll ask this question for everybody, and you can go ahead and take a stab at it. How do you define the future of DeFi, and where is it going? That question's for both Crow and Polygon tonight.
I think I can take this start. So when we are looking at DeFi and the future of blockchain, I would say that we have pretty much moved to away from just like price speculations like pump and dump. Yeah, they are happening these days as well, but all we are focusing on is now more and more development. Polygon as a chain, I would say, we are working more towards getting an ecosystem which is developed so much that all the things that are required for anyone to go out and build anything in this space is available. Anything they are looking for is available in this space. And as we evolve, I think more and more enterprises are also something that are taking interest in building on the blockchain. So I think down the line, 5 years, we see ourselves as an ecosystem which is mostly fully developed and has a space for everyone to go out and grow and develop themselves. And that is something which is completely aligned with all the things that we are coming up with. Some of the announcements that have already been made, a lot of funds that have already been deployed, a lot of new funds that are coming in to help a lot of new projects to go and build on us. I think that's how I see the future coming in. A lot of people coming together, building the space and working with synergies to create an ecosystem that is good for everyone.
That's great, and Ella, your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think I guess I can addressing from two aspects, like from the protocol and project aspect. We definitely see, this direction of the multi-chain future in the blockchain and in the DeFi space, right? A lot of layer two and layer one and layer two project protocols have attracted a lot of tractions and TVLs from DeFi protocols. So the infrastructure and the user interface to facilitate a smoother user experience to being access to different DeFi protocols and different digital assets across different protocols. I think that's kind of the overarching theme that we're seeing. So I think currently, there are a lot of emergent bridging solutions, but how do we address the security risk? How do we reduce the attack vector? How can we work together to abstract away the complexity dealing with different protocols on the user interface. I think that's a major task for all of us to tackle together. And I think like with Chronos being a Cosmos chain, but also EVM compatible, I think we're in a unique position to link the EVM ecosystem and also the Cosmos ecosystem. And, you know, with the large retail user base that we are attracting, I think we're definitely feeling a lot of, you know, burden, but also opportunity to create a user-friendly interface to help you know, newer comers to the DeFi space to provide a good user experience. And then second theme I see is really like the sustainable liquidity growth, right? The whole DeFi craze started with yield farming, and while it's a good tactic to drive initial user growth, it's not a long-term sustainable method. And you know, the past month, we've seen more innovative models to have more sustainable liquidity growth, to have like protocol-owned liquidity that's aiming for a more long-term community-owned trajectory. So that's also a theme that we're seeing and want to encourage within the Chronos ecosystem. And I guess I also addressed the user front as well. But one other theme we see is you know, more and more connections with DeFi and other use cases such as gaming, NFT, and metaverse. Because at the end of the day, like, why do we need finance? It's because we want to, you know, to purchase something or use money in a more efficient way, but with other purposes. So, you know, how we tie DeFi, you know, financing mechanism with other interesting stuff that retail people actually are more interested in owning or playing. That's also you know, another thing that we're seeing and want to see more and more collaboration between DeFi protocols and other like gaming and metaverse projects.
Great answer, and I totally agree with you on, you know, when DeFi first hit, you know, DeFi, as I call it, DeFi version 1 was totally unsustainable. Even Vitalik came out and said the same, and I totally agreed with him. So I'm happy to see you guys build in the future. It's much needed. It's necessary. DeFi is super necessary. Anybody else want to comment before I move along? Anybody, Waso, anybody, or am I good? Brian?
I'll add a couple words. I definitely agree with what everyone's saying. You know, I see DeFi as an opportunity for different protocols to, you know, have smaller ecosystems within the larger ecosystems of these mainnets, and it's a huge opportunity for collaboration and support across chains. And the direction that we're moving currently, with specifically within the last like 60 to 90 days of this, you know, NFT gaming metaverse world, is just showing, you know, the almost like the infinite amount of opportunity that there is within this space. And I think that this space is going to continue to grow as long as collaboration continues to happen.
Totally agree on that. Brian, I saw you unmute yourself for a second. You wanted to say something, or?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I agree with what pretty much everyone else said. I think that the DeFi space is going to be taking over, you know, the entire world. Eventually, it pretty much already has put its roots and its fingers and everywhere that, you know, banking's not available to other countries, and even in parts of where I live in the U.S., it's you know, slowly being able giving users the ability to take over their own financial freedoms. The one thing that I wanted to also mention is that and I've said this probably 4 or 5 times in the last couple other spaces that we've had. But NFT, that whole protocol, is going to be changing the way the entire world works. And now that we're implementing DeFi aspects into NFTs, I mean, it's game changing. And so I'm super excited to see what the next even 2022 is going to bring to us. And it's going to get wilder and better and crazier and cooler. And, who knows where we're going to be in just 6 months from now.
Totally agree. Well, space, man, we're still early, as we all say, we're still early. Um, Here's my next question for everybody on the panel. What are the biggest challenges with gaining adoption from folks that aren't familiar with DeFi that you're seeing today? Ella, I'll go with you first, and then, again, anybody who wants to take the mic, go for it.
Sure, I'll go first. I think this is quite interesting because we actually see a lot of new people coming to Chronos. Like some of the Chronos DeFi apps is their first experience with decentralized applications. So a ton of, I like to peek in their community channels on Discord and on Telegram to see what people are saying. So I think education is still a big thing. With these newcomers into DeFi, they don't really understand a lot of these new concepts that we take for granted, such as I see people asking, what is liquidity providing? Like why? What happens after I deposit these two tokens into an LP? And what is an LP? Like what they also don't understand, what impermanent loss is and how to calculate that. It's pretty hard to wrap your heads around it, to be honest. Even when we first, get into DeFi, and it's a completely new concept, right? So the education piece is definitely something that all protocols, all projects need to think about. We're building DeFi space not to rotate from one pool to another pool, from one protocol to another protocol. We want to get new blood coming into the decentralized finance evolution. So how do we provide the education and make it interesting and easy to understand for average users? That's definitely something that we think a lot about within Chronos, and we also have plans to work with projects in the Chronos ecosystem to promote that education. And second thing is the same with all DApp. Our decentralized applications is security practices, right? A lot of users still, come to Crodax, come to VVS Finance from only interacting with centralized exchanges before. So the security practices and how they should be using non-custodial wallets, these are probably very common to us, but it's still new to them. So I think these two are something that we should all work together to provide more educational content and engaging the users community more.
Which
Well
is
said.
well said. I was going to say the same thing. That's perfect. Definitely need to be working together as a community. Ashwar, how do you feel?
So I think education is first of all a passion for at least me. So basically, if you talk about education and bringing more people on board, when you talk about Polygon, so I think we have structured it in a way where anyone and everyone who wants to even dream of having a project with us is we are giving out all the support which is there, and to make them understand what exactly is happening. So if you see, we have educational guilds where we are talking about, where we are partnering with a lot of education platforms to teach them what exactly DeFi is all about, to on ramp them. I personally actually go out and teach a lot of people on a daily basis. So that is something which is where you educate. And I think after that we have a lot of hackathons, where I think recently we had almost India's biggest hackathon, because the number of registrations that came in were like awesome, I would say. But then after that also, it's not just that. Then we have various programs which are mentorship programs, which are programs where you can go out and explore all the opportunities. And that is something where right from the scratch, if you do not know what DeFi is, if you do not know what exactly the terminologies are, and like Ella said, these are pretty much easy terms for us, but it becomes very difficult for someone who is coming from a traditional finance background or from a non DeFi background to go out and understand. So I believe that that is a very important step, and I think we are trying to do that. And that is why I think the daily active users is kind of the proof, where you can go out and check that our daily active users are really high. It's more than 400k daily active users that we have, which is significant. And that is, I think, the result of people knowing exactly how the protocols work, how they're operating, what are the things happening in the protocol, and they understand. And I think one of the other things that we are very much focusing on is, if you'll see our Twitter spaces, they're almost every day full. Why? Because we are going out and we are telling people what we are doing, we are making them understand how the things work, and we are ensuring that anything and everything that is happening, they don't feel like left out whenever anything like this is happening. And because of this particular reason, I would say that this is something where we are actually the most focused on, apart from building more applications on our ecosystem. So this is like one of the biggest thing that we are focusing on: education. I think once people are educated enough, they understand what DeFi is all about, then most probably what will happen is they will navigate and they will find their way in the blockchain world, in the DeFi world, and they'll see how they can grow themselves. And cross collaboration, again, when something new is coming up, we always tend to go out with that project. We always want to tell the people, okay, this is what they're building, this is their narrative, this is something which is there. And we put out open houses where we invite all those people who want to ask questions about the project, if anyone wants to connect with the project. So that is also something which is there. And that is why I think education, like I said, is one of the most important aspects and the pillars of Polygon.
I think the biggest thing is, and thank you for that response. I think the biggest thing uh, from my side is to keep it in layman's terms. And when educating people that are just entering the space, we need to stop speaking in code, because that's what really scares people away. They hear the coding, they hear the C++ talk, and they start, they take that information, they try to Google it, and once they put it into Google, I mean, they're out. They're leaving because they completely, from my standpoint and from the people I've spoken to, they completely don't get it. And in this society, it's instant gratification. They don't catch on within the first 5-10 minutes. I feel like they're gone. So that's my point of view.
Yeah, I want to add on that too, because there's a lot of things that people don't realize, that the cryptocurrency and blockchain technology was it is complicated, and it is there's a lot of stuff going on into it, and doing the 256 hash security, everything, even trying to stake is very complicated if you don't know the simple steps to do. But there is not enough education out there to show people, like, hey, this is actually very, very user friendly, very easy, and anyone can do it if they know anything about how to stake, BNB, or swap out his BNB to ETH or anything like that. But he does kind of understand how to buy crypto. But if I did finally explain to him, like, hey, this is all you got to do, look at it in a simple terms, you can easily like gain interest and do the APR, APY, all this other stuff from staking. But there's not enough information out there for people that just are not computer literate. or not that don't really understand how cryptocurrency works because they're so terrified of crypto. It's such a new technology and all this stuff. And if we can get like that information out there to the public, like, hey, this is not hard, and this is no different than switching your savings account to your checking account, or opening a 401k, or if you know how to do option spreads, like some of the 60-year-old really angry white men that I deal with every day at work, having to teach them how to do it and talk to them. They understand that, but you say the word Bitcoin, they're really interested, but they have no idea what the hell you're talking about. But they understand how to do a Condor debit, put call debit spread. That's like, you understand how to do that, but you can't do this. But it's just because there's not enough information out there, and we need to get that out there. And I love what you guys are talking about because that's what it's all about, just informing people, and then mass adoption will happen once people understand how to do it.
Yeah, I also want to say that we have a nuanced take on centralized services, right? So I guess like in a lot of crypto like decentralization maximalist people's view, like they think, oh, centralization is bad, but I actually believe that centralized services can play a big role in DeFi as well, and getting adoption, getting user adoption into DeFi, right? So when people first interact with crypto or get their first crypto, it's usually from some centralized exchange or with a brand name that they recognize and trust. And then once they bought their first Bitcoin or Doge or Shiba, what have you, then they start to explore on different features on the centralized exchange, and they see, oh, there's an earn feature, but they probably didn't know, that in the back end is actually like linked to some DeFi protocols, and that's where the yields are coming from. But it's like baby steps. You bought your first crypto on the centralized exchange, and then you explore more features on centralized exchange, and you become curious. So where are these yields coming from? And start your next steps venturing into the DeFi space, right? And then another aspect I think benefits that centralized exchanges also provide is really easy access to deposit and withdrawal with different protocols, since we have so many of them now. Like there's a whole spectrum of user preferences. Some opt for like the more decentralized bridging solutions, but others might just want to use exchange that they trust, right? So I think having the option to with centralized exchanges providing that gateway to DeFi is also something that we see quite helpful to get new people into the DeFi space.
I agree with that. Like for me,
Yeah,
go ahead, bro.
decentralization is not bad. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just commenting. Centralization is not bad. Decentralization is an amazing thing and will disrupt a lot of the things that we know day in, day out, and what we take part in our daily lives. But centralized crypto is not a bad thing. It's not terrible as long as it's not a corrupt and dangerous company that's going to steal all your money. What you were saying, Ella, is right on the money. Centralization and through exchanges or information, all that kind of stuff, is super beneficial to this space.
I also, Brian, and I'll say that you need some sort of centralized component in these protocols. So I'm all with having a little bit of centralized a little bit of a centralized component in any protocol. I don't see anything wrong with that. You can have. I don't believe you can have a project that is fully 100% decentralized, and I don't think that'll ever happen. And if it does happen, I don't see how it works out.
Agreed. I do want to ask one thing of Ella and Ashbar. Did you guys? I think I might have heard it. Did you guys say one of you guys implemented IBC protocol into your into the platform you guys use or are a part of?
That's right. So because Chronos is built with a Cosmos SDK, So IBC,
That's what I was
yeah.
getting
So
at. Okay,
IBC
cool.
is built in from day one.
All right, we'll get into that a little later. I just wanted to clarify that I heard that correctly, because IBC protocol is awesome, and eventually every blockchain should connect to each other. But yeah, awesome.
All right, I'm gonna move along if everybody's okay with it. Anybody else have anything to say about it, or can I move?
I think you can move right
You're
along.
good.
All right, cool. All right, let's go. What initiatives is your ecosystem implementing to encourage projects to launch on your mainnets, Ella Ashworth?
I'll go first. So, firstly, like whenever we are approached with a project, so firstly, we are going out and we are conducting various kinds of activities around so that more and more projects can come to know about us. And once any project approaches us, so it's we have first of all a whole developer kit that we have designed. Now, this developer kit includes multiple things. The first thing is basically if you're looking for building something which is very unique and which is something which can help the ecosystem to grow even more, we go out and we provide some grants to it. Second thing that we go out and do is developer support. So if you are already a developed project and you're bringing your project over to Polygon, what we do is we give you the full developer support so that you can migrate very easily. Third thing is, I think after that support, the third thing is various kinds of suits. So there are some people who are looking for venture capital, there are some people who are looking for strategic alignments, there's some people who are just looking for fundraise so that they can go out and build. So we have a full blown VC network across the globe which we leverage to go out and do that. Then after, let's say if some project is migrating and they want to have some strategic partnerships with all the projects that are out there, what we go out and do is we have one of the biggest, you can say, internal group which we have created among all the protocols that are there within the Polygon ecosystem. So it can be any of the top applications, any of the middle applications, or any of the new applications that are coming in. So that promotes, or I think what happens is, what we do is, if someone is trying to do something new, we will not just listen to it and say congratulations and we'll just move along with it. What we will go out and do is we will ask them what exactly are the things that you're looking for once you've launched this project. And once you have launched this project, whatever static, so I can give you an example of Automata. Now Automata recently launched an MEV conveyor, where they help us reduce the, you can say, MEV maximization that happens. Now that is a product that they created, but that's a product which everyone should be using. So what we will go out and do is we'll connect them to all the platforms which can get benefited from them. So indirectly they get benefited, and directly all the other protocols have also get benefited. So that is something where we call it as like poly builders, and we have that kind of support there. Then the third thing is, let's say there are various other, like you can say, various strategic partners who want to invest, who want to see where into a particular blockchain or something like that. Then what we will go out and do is, on a particular project like that, then we'll go out and connect them. So that is again something. This is the third thing that we provide is marketing and helping the project to promote themselves. So we have more than 1 million followers in almost 1 million followers, I think, on Twitter as well. So that helps us boost. And also what we are focusing on is decentralizing most of the activities that we are trying to do. So let's say if you want to now, what we have done is we have created a specific, or we have a specific ecosystem DAO that is there, which is taking care of, which is independent. So no one can say that Polygon is being biased about giving any opportunities or grants to someone. It is an independent body that has been created, and we've given out like $1 million to them to go out and choose the projects and enable them, if they are voted as projects which can be given out a grant. And first of all, the DAO people will go out and listen to the project, see what the project is all about, see if we can help. And if they're okay with the giving the grants, they have been given the full authority to go out and do that. So thereby we are trying to decentralize that thing as well, where nobody can come and say that, okay, we're just taking some people and benefiting them and not doing that for others. So that is the third and the fourth thing I would say. And the last thing is, I think, the support that you need. So once you're launched, one of the biggest problems that other chains have is, and the people that come to us and the projects that come to us, they go out and they tell us this thing that once we are deployed, most of the people, what they do is they do not go out and do not provide, most of the other blockchains, they do not provide actually the support that is needed after the project has been deployed. Till the project has been deployed, yeah, good, great, but after that is done, most of the blockchains are not supporting them there. And that most of the blockchain projects that are already existing, when they come over to us, this is their biggest concern, that what exactly are we going to get. So I think that is also something where we help them out. And I would say, in the marketing sense, also we hold various kinds of AMAs on Discord, Twitter, and everywhere, so that they can get the visibility and the real talent and the real projects, which are maybe very small as well. We do not see the size of the project to decide whether they should be going on the Twitter spaces from the main account or something like that. It's all equal for everyone, if they want to go out, if they want to build, and that is there. And the last thing is, we have an incubate we have tied up with various VCs to create incubation centers as well. So now in these incubation centers, what happens is, once you learn about once you are like very new, or we are just starting, we'll go out and provide that kind of an incubation to you, so that you build and you develop. So that is something, I think, which is one of the biggest things which is there from us. All the support that is needed, if anything I've missed out, definitely, and you need that, we can always talk that over.
Thank you for your answer. Ella, do you want to comment on this?
Yeah, sure. So we also have a few programs structured to provide supports to projects want to natively build on Chronos, or have expand to Chronos from other blockchains as well. So first one is we have a grant program, and this is mainly designed to support early stage project and help them to bootstrap the project development phase till they have something like MVP or alpha version, so they're ready to go out there and fundraise. So for this program, it's usually the ticket size will be relatively small, and then after they complete this milestone and then get to the next phase, we can introduce them to different investors in our ecosystem, including the crypto.com capital on the CDC side of the business as well. And then we also can utilize this grant for if we identify any major gaps in infrastructure and tooling, since Chronos is still pretty young, and we still need a lot of support from service providers to provide their services to make our developers' life easier. So this can also come from this grant program. And then the second program that we have is a DeFi incentive program, and this is developed to encourage sustainable and more like mid to long term phased TVL growth on the Chronos chain. So what it looks like is it will have specific rewards in CRO that tie to the protocol's TVL on Chronos chain. So the lower bands will have lower amounts, and then the higher bands will have higher amounts, and we evaluate on a monthly basis. So that's the second program that we have. And we're also looking at establishing a few more incentive programs, especially with non-DeFi protocols, because we were very bullish on gaming and metaverse. So we want to create additional structure to incentivize projects that cannot be measured with TVL, but with some other metrics coming to Chronos as well. More details on that should come out in the next few weeks. And on top of these incentive programs, we also have BD support. I think BD is really important in the blockchain space, as a layer 1 or layer 2 protocol, right? I think a lot of times you see, okay, like the protocol team will engage in the project at the early phase, but once it's deployed, then the support kind of phase out. But we really want to work very closely with partners that we identified who are want to continue build and want to bring in new projects over to Chronos. So with certain projects with certain partners, we structure like bi-weekly calls with them to understand any updates from their business, any potential, what other new partners that they have onboarded, and what might be the potential synergies with Chronos and these new partners, or with any other ecosystem projects in this space. Because if for layer 1 or layer 2, one key thing is like projects within your ecosystem kind of work together and create bigger synergies over time. So that's something that we want to foster as well, to create a collaborative environment for all projects in the Chronos ecosystem. Developer support, also something that we very much emphasize on. We pretty much have dedicated dev relations personnel from us with all major projects that we are in touch with, in separate groups, so that if they encounter any issues, they would have someone respond to them right away instead of going to a larger Discord channel. So we want to make sure that projects deployed on Chronos have a very good developer user experience. And since the protocol is still in the early phase, there might be some hiccups along the way, but we want to make sure that issues are being addressed right away. On the marketing front, we also just started our Twitter Spaces AMA since last week, and we have plans to continue to do that at least on a bi-weekly cadence. And other marketing materials such as Twitter interactions, feature projects under our newsletters, under our blog posts, and educational series that we collaborate with with a few DeFi protocols. That's also something that's in the work. And another, I guess, unique aspect is we do see a lot of users coming to Chronos related apps from the crypto.com ecosystem. So that's also something I think makes us slightly different from other layer 1 protocols, as we've already seen, since Chronos launched, several of these projects received tremendous, a ton of traffic and kind of already exceeded their own expectations. So the over 10 million user base that Chronos ecosystem can have access to is also something that's unique as well. And in addition, as I kind of mentioned earlier, like the centralized exchange the centralized exchange support is also something that Chronos can differentiate with a few other blockchains as well.
Thank you for that answer. I appreciate it. I'm going to move on to the next question now, which is what are the key characteristics that make your mainnet unique, and what would you say is the most exciting thing about what you're building? And I'm going to start with you, Ella, again, and then we'll go to Ashwar.
Yeah, sure. I think like Brian kind of touched upon a bit, with on the IBC component, right? Chronos is built with Cosmos SDK, which means that we have the IBC, the inter-blockchain communication module, built in from day one. So this is actually a very unique and I would say advanced bridging solution to connect different blockchains. Since we have that component built in and enabled from day one, currently we enabled IBC channel with our parallel chain crypto.org chain to facilitate CRO transfer between these two chains. But we also are working on enabling IBC channel with Cosmos Hub very soon. so that we can natively and in a decentralized way to bridge Atom over to Chronos in the coming months and provide different use cases for atoms. We're also looking at other Cosmos native assets, Cosmos chains native assets. So, things like Luna, Osmosis, these are also, some examples of digital assets that we're looking at. So if there's a commercial case for venturing into other Cosmos-based chains, extending a IBC channel with these chains wouldn't be an issue on the technical level at all. And then on the EVM side, because we are a EVM chain, we have the EVM module on top of Cosmos SDK. So any protocols that are written in Solidity and have already built on other EVM chains can easily extend to Cosmos, to Chronos as well.
Great, and Ash,
So
the same question for you.
yeah, thank you. So basically, when we talk about Polygon has been, I think, something where three things are something which are very important, which you will get on Polygon. First is the gas fees. That's almost negligible, which is a very big advantage. The second thing is the transaction finality speed. That is very high on us. And the third thing is the number of active users. So whenever we talk about, I think, the mainnet or any blockchain or any solution out there, the biggest thing or the biggest challenge for any blockchain is to keep those users active. So if you see the recently what has happened is there are new blockchains that are coming in, giving out like crazy amounts of returns and luring over some of the let's say whales or bigger users to those platforms just to ape in onto the big returns that they have. And once the return falls down, they usually move to some other places to farm and get those returns. So one of the biggest, I think, achievement that Polygon has today is the daily active users that we have, from people who are just a newbie to people who are big whales. They're all available or they're all active on the Polygon network, and this is something which is very important. Why? Because simply, if you have a million dApps, let's say, and you have like 100 users, I took it like over exaggerated it, but yeah, if you have that kind of a setup, what would those dApps do on your network? So I think the active number of users is one of the biggest key which is there, and that is where we are ensuring that everyone is there. What we have also started doing is, like, we have created a Polygon score as well to honor or to gift more users who are active and who are loyal to us, to or who are doing a lot of transactions and ensure and enjoying the Polygon chain, to give them more benefits. And another thing that we have is, like, there is this, we have partnered with DeFi. Now DeFi, what it is doing is it is collaborating with all the platforms which are there on our ecosystem. And what they're doing is they're also going and giving out their tokens and NFT drops for the users who are there, or the top users which are there on various dApps. And so that is also another thing that is there, the NFT world that is creating. So we have partnered with a lot of protocols, both in the real time uses, and in the gaming world and metaverse world. So that is also something where we are building upon that space. And the last thing is ZK rollups. I think ZK is something, zero knowledge proof is something which I think we have already deployed like $1 billion fund for that. And we have already two blockchains which have merged with us in order to go out and provide those zero knowledge proof solutions. Once the private chains are like today, if we see, the private chains are not emerging as they had to, the obvious choice for any user to go out in an enterprise solution would be to go out for a ZK rollup solution, because they do not want to go out and make completely all their data public. So that is also something where we are building. We have Vitalik coming in on most probably the 9th of December. in the ZK rollup, and talking about all these developments in this space. So I think these are the things that make us unique for a person who wants to build on any of those things. We have the users, we have low gas fees, we have a lot of dApps already deployed. So Polygon has over 3,000 dApps already deployed on it. So yeah, we have a whole ecosystem for anyone to go out and explore as much as you can.
Thank you for the very detailed and elaborate answers, guys. Really appreciate it. And I'm sure people in the crowd do too. Um, Moving on to the next question. What are the best practices that you can share with projects looking to launch on Chronos and Polygon? Let's start with Ashwar.
I think the best practices that are there, first of all, like I said, one of the biggest thing that we have is we do not go out and we do not. So if let's say someone, we have blue chips, we have new projects, and both of them are given equal importance. It's not that if a new project is coming in, we would just let them be there and we are just serving the blue chips. We give them equal support. That is the first thing that we have. Second is, no matter whatever the requests that are coming in from any of those ecosystems, we are trying to go out and we are trying to honor that. We are trying to help them out in in all the things. And the last thing is, we are not and which is like, I would say the biggest thing that we have on our side is we're not going out and we're not fighting for the users. We are letting them come in as they want to come in with their own pace. We're not bribing, or I would not say that the growth that Polygon has is inorganic, which is, I think, the best part that we have. We are not fostering that inorganic growth which is there. And when we do not foster that inorganic growth, we don't have to worry about, okay, tomorrow, once we are not able to provide those high returns, those people will go away, because those are kind of, I would say, those people are like the loyal users of the ecosystem. And we never, so there are a lot of projects that come in and want us to go out and do something which might not be that you can say uh, prevalent in the market, or that is something that other blockchains are doing. So we have seen projects are coming in and saying, okay, that blockchain is giving out these many rewards, you should also give it, then only we'll humbly say, this is something where this is how we work and this is where we want to grow, and we do not want to get into that inorganic thing, because that is not sustainable at all. So I think this is again another thing which is one of the best practices that we have. We humbly deny if we do not, if we have to go out and do that, because we do not want that inorganic growth to come in and hamper the whole system, make those people greedy, just to get more returns and not enjoy what we are building. So that is, I think, the biggest emphasis that we have today.
Yeah, I definitely share the same opinion as Ashwin as well. The organic protocol projects builders should focus on building something that's fun and interesting, that can attract users, instead of pumping a lot of rewards to get users coming, and then we've seen so many cases where mercenary capital just left after the honeymoon period is gone, right? So one other thing that we focus on a lot is really security. Like, security is on top of everyone involved in Chronos ecosystem's mind. Last month, we also published a best security practices for DeFi projects, that we encourage everyone who are building in the Chronos ecosystem follow, and we also use that as a guidance to kind of do due diligence on projects that we potentially want to provide any incentive or marketing support as well. So basic things such as secure coding practices, secure audits, and continue monitoring your code base, and if you roll out new features, make sure that it's being audited as well. And in addition to security audit, we highly encourage every project would have a bounty program bug bounty program as well, because in a lot of cases, most of these critical bugs are actually not being found by through security audit, but actually identified by white hat hackers. So having a very robust and attractive bug bounty program is also very much encouraged as well. And in fact, Chronos also provide one of the pretty high awards, over 1.37 million bug bounty program for Chronos code base, and including a few of other incubated particle B incubated projects as well. We also encourage best practices for DeFi admin operations, things like proper key management, like documentation management, etc. And also just keep updated on any of the latest hacks. So if any of the projects want to consult with our security team on certain things, we're always open for conversations. But yeah, for security is always our number one priority, and we want to make sure that this is the number one priority for any projects that's built on Chronos as well. So can't stress enough about this.
I love that security is your focus, because at EverRise, security is our main focus. All our DApps that we're building are based around security and keeping people safe and keeping investors safe. So that definitely sits well with me. So kudos to you guys.
Where do you guys see your mainnet in the next 5 years? Ella, I'll start with you.
5 years. That sounds like a lifetime in crypto.
I know, right?
It is a lifetime.
It's
Like 3 months is like 6 years, so go for it.
Yeah, I mean, like if one day, if you're not taking off, then you're already a year behind.
yeah, it's hard to say what's gonna happen in 5 years, but at least I think we want to see a metaverse that's built on Chronos, that's linking the crypto native apps and assets with real world high quality assets as well. Since that's something that we're very much focused on with Chronos, with the crypto.com ecosystem, partnering with real world IPs that everyday people recognize, and really like bringing billions of users coming to blockchain, coming to the metaverse. That's where I see Chronos mainnet is going to be in the next 5 years.
And Ash, where do you see?
I think what we see as in the 5 years is, first of all, the whole world that we are talking about. We want to create an ecosystem which is like having four different pillars. The four different pillars are basically, or the four different things are, first of all, the DeFi world which is there, which is more integrated, and all the issues that we have today, those are solved out, and we have an ecosystem which is able to provide for any and every solution that is required. The second thing that we have is towards the so we have a dedicated NFT Polygon studio that we have created, whereby what we want to go out and we want to go out and ensure is all the things that are required for the NFT and the metaverse to grow. They go out and they grow it. We have a lot of projects ongoing, a lot of developments ongoing, which over the years will go out and come out to be the biggest use cases in in the metaverse world. So that is the second pillar. The third is the real life use cases. So we have a lot of real life use cases that are building on Polygon. I would say where what we want to do is we want to become we want to enter into the finance space, which is the traditional finance space, let's say. Just like Alpha Leaks kind of thing, where we are partnering with a lot of we are partnering up with a lot of startups or a lot of corporates which are there, where they want to put out their solutions on the Polygon mainnet. So that is, I think, the third solution, where the real life use cases we are trying to simplify them, maybe with the use of NFTs, with the use of some other tools that we have in our armory. And the fourth thing is, which is like I will see see, coming from a finance background, so I'm not a techie. So coming from a finance background, I see one of the biggest use cases in the finance world is basically where we're talking about on ramping a lot of transactions which are happening on a daily basis on the equity stock market side. So all those transactions also, and all those transactions using our ZK solutions which are out there. I think these are the four pillars that we are focusing on, and we want to go and strong held all these four pillars for so that in the future we look ourselves and we are there 5 years ahead in time. We see that we have really made it out for each and every solution that could possibly be thought of in this ecosystem.
Awesome. And Waso, I want to ask you, where do you see EverRise in the next 5 years?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Man, in 5 years, I see EverRise being a household name, known for having known for being on multiple chains, for bringing safety products to new investors. As we know, new investors are coming into this space regularly, and our products really support honest developers and I would say I don't know if I want to use this word, but like ignorant investors. So many people jump into these meme coins and these new projects, not knowing, like Ella mentioned, what is liquidity. We look forward to bringing our products to every ecosystem, giving communities the ability to vote on contractual changes in their smart contract and having a say in the liquidity. I also see EverRise supporting new projects that are coming and projects that are existing, the ability to migrate seamlessly with some of our dApps. But at the very core, that is EverRise's mission, to support projects on all ecosystems to be able to build and really take into consideration what their community wants.
I think you meant to say uninformed investors.
That's the word. That's the word.
Yeah.
That's the word. There you go.
Because
Uninformed is a
no
much
one's
better word.
ignorant in this space. It's just no one's really informed. Like you guys have all said, everyone that kind of like goes into the space, that gets into like Shiba, that's like the craziest token anyone knows right now. Even though because everyone knows Ethereum and Bitcoin, but Shiba's crazy. But just because it's on Webull and Robinhood. So if we inform inform the masses, like these tokens are here, these projects are here, I mean, everything's going to go wild for us. I mean, for all of us, everyone in this space, it's going to be life-changing. We just need to inform the investors.
And again, it starts with the community. It starts with education that is, dumbed down, not written in code, to go ahead and allow people to get in on the ground floor. And then if somebody feels like, saying, hey, I want to, take it to the next level, allow them to do so. But I think that's probably the biggest thing for us is, again, not to be repetitive, but is to really, really keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid kind of thing. So that's the end of the questions from, that's the end of the questions from me. I think I'm going to turn it to some people down here with their, we have a few requests here for people who want to ask some questions to some of our panelists. If you don't mind, you guys mind taking some questions or?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Perfect.
Yep.
Let me bring up some people with their hands raised. Hey, 3/4, you're connected.
You might have to unmute your mic in the bottom left-hand corner.
3/4.
This is your time to shine, my friend.
I think probably he's from laptop, so laptops do not allow you to talk. Just listen.
Jimmy Shill. While 3/4 finds the mute button, Jimmy Shill, you're live.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, guys. Thanks for having me up. I hope this question's not too off base, but I've been looking into security token offerings for like stocks, and I was wondering if you guys thought that was a viable option uh, to basically just to what stocks are right now is to encrypt them, I guess, and I'm not that
Well, what do
educated
you
on.
mean? Are you talking about like a certain protocol?
So I saw that T0 has a I guess they're approved by FINRA to make stock security tokens. So they did that with Overstock. And to me, I thought the logical jump was that every stock would want to be encrypted to make sure their stock was authentic. So I thought that was a space that crypto could definitely come into.
Well, I'll say this right now. No one in here can give you financial advice. So we'll start that off. I mean, if the platform offers tokenized versions of stocks, because there's a couple of them that do that right now. If it's up to you if you think. I mean, if they have like the credentials that says they're approved by FIRNA or SEC or whatever, then I mean, I guess do it if you would like to. I personally wouldn't want to do a tokenized version of stocks because why not just invest in the stock itself? But that's just my opinion.
I
Let's
think what. Yeah, go ahead, David.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that what happens is when we talk about STOs, one of the biggest things that come into play is regulation. So you have to be approved from a lot of bodies which are there across the globe in order to go out and do that. Do tokenizing stock is one of the best things that could be done. But I think from the regulation point of view, this is something which is a very big kind of hurdle when we talk about this from the regulatory point of view, because firstly, not many of these exchanges would want you to do that, simply because they want to have that kind of control over these stocks which are trading. Also, when you tokenize them, then there is basically no stop losses and all those things which are very much primitive or native to the equity market which is there. So when you want to trade them out, and let's say the stock which is there in the stock market goes out for a lower circuit and it stops trading, but your STO token is on the blockchain, it runs 24/7. So that becomes a very big challenge to go out and average those prices out. And at that point of time, there is a lot of loss that the some of the DeFi protocols had. So when they wanted to mimic, so either they would have to close their trading. So when they close the trading, then there is no logic of putting it on blockchain, because on blockchain you don't want to halt something in between. So that is the thing. And if you're trading them 24/7, the problem was created there was, I mean, the losses that you were incurring, or the gains, that those balances were not able to set up. I think these three things are something which is stopping these STOs to come over blockchain. I think what will happen is, mostly once we have these regulatory clearances, then definitely these are the things that are going to happen, because then from the regulatory point of view, these exchanges will also not have these kinds of either stop losses or something, and then there would be a parity in between, so that you can go out and trade in that zone.
I'm gonna invite up CP. CP. Hopefully you connect. CP, what's going on?
Hey, CP, you might need to unmute your mic in the bottom left-hand corner.
AAA, what's going on? AAA.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for letting me talk. I'm just here because I'm looking for the next picks. You know, I'm in Bitcoin and Ethereum. I got a little bit of everything: Cardano, Solana, and I'm just here trying to gain some energy and everything. You know what I mean?
Do you have any Chronos or Polygon?
I'm not too familiar with that term, to be honest.
Chronos and Polygon.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
You better jump on
came
it.
to the right place, man.
Sorry.
Definitely spend a little bit of time, read up on Chronos, and read up on Polygon.
How you spell that? With a C or with with a C or with a K?
It's Cronos, but really it's they're part of the. Well, I'll let Ella explain it, but let me preface this. The main tokens that I personally really like are ENS, ETH, Matic/Polygon, CRO, and BNB.
Gotcha.
And you can see it in my Twitter profile, but those are my main staples, and I promise you, they've been doing me really well.
Yeah, I've definitely
recently, and I'm a big fan.
I've definitely heard of Crow and BNB, and I'll definitely look into it for sure. But I'm interested in the Chronos.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Ella, but that it would be Crow now, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so CRO token has been around since 2017, I believe. So
yeah, they've been around for a minute.
Yeah, the full name is called Crypto.com Coin, and even before Chronos existed, it has utilities from the the suite of products and services that Crypto.com offers. For example, you need certain amount of CRO staked to get their Visa card. You get all kinds of like benefits using their apps and exchanges with if you stake CRO, right? So with the launch of Chronos, which is a public chain, CRO is also used as the native currency powering the transactions on chain. So you pay CRO as gas for transactions on the Chronos chain. So that's additional utility to the token itself.
You got
so
this,
you think
bud.
it's
Hey,
like
just
a
follow each one of us, and I promise you'll find some golden gems.
no
Hashtag EverRise. I'm not sure what happened.
I was muted, of course. Crypto Spartan, you're live.
Hey guys, good evening everyone. How is everyone been? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Great.
We're doing good. Everybody's doing well.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the question is for Aishwarya and Ella, because you guys are from the Chronos and Polygon blockchain, which are most probably known all around the world. Like when you come into spaces like EverRise space or whatever spaces, do you do your research about those tokens?
Research about the Polygon token.
No, the EverRise, because you're an EverRise space, right? Because I know that this is the tokens which started like this year. But what do you think? What are your thoughts on EverRise or the projects which started this year, which are trying to get into the space and getting into competition with Polygon or Chronos or BNB or whatever? Like, what are your thoughts on the smaller chains?
I think one thing that we can say is again, I think Ella also mentioned this, that the future is not about one blockchain. The future is multi-blockchain, and a lot of blockchains are going to coexist and develop the whole blockchain space. So yes, I think bigger or smaller, it does not matter what the utility that you're providing, or what the things that you can provide to the users, as well as the ecosystems that are developing on you, is going to matter. And short term, people can look at some kinds of good amount of rewards to come over, but ultimately in the long term, they will want one thing, or two things, I would say, or let's say the whole trilemma, which is like, you go and you have scalability, you have that kind of decentralization that is important, and the last thing which is there is, when you talk about the security. But that's just the three words which are important. And if these are the three things which can be maintained, or which a blockchain can ensure, maybe by itself, or by combining with layer 2s, or by combining two different blockchains altogether. So these are the things, I think, once or if any of the ecosystem is able to maintain, most probably what will happen is they will have a future, definitely, for sure.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think we definitely see more blockchains coming out, and collaboration with other blockchains is also, what we at Chronos are focusing on. And then in terms of projects such as EverRise, I think they can be a very good addition to any layer 1 or layer 2 protocols out there, because it's promoting and advocating for security, best security practices, and providing, a whole suite of tools for other projects in those ecosystem to utilize, right? So, I like the projects. We are in talks with their team. Won't comment on the token aspect, but I think their product suite is going to be a good addition to any blockchain ecosystem.
Amazing. Ella, thank you for the kind words. David, sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to be mindful of the time. So I think this will probably be our last question.
And the last question is reserved for Angela. What's going on? Angela?
Better be good.
Okay.
Oh, she disconnected.
Let's go for one more. Where
I hate
can we
that.
find one person? The Crypto Kid.
Ooh.
Crypto Kid, you are on live.
Hey guys, sorry about that. My microphone was off. I guess I'm the last guy here, huh? All right. Well, I'm into liquidity pools, and that led me over to Crow. And on the MetaMask wallet on the Cronos mainnet, it still displays an Ethereum address. And I've been trying to bridge my mainnet Crow or wrapped Crow with regular Crow to get into a VVA pool. But I'm having a really hard time to kind of unwrap that.
Well, I don't know if troubleshooting on this last question is
okay. Well,
do you have anything else?
If you guys offer a cross bridge functionality, since you predicated this.
If it's related to VVS, I would suggest talk to the project in their Telegram or Discord group. If it's related to the bridge, I'll send you a contact email to contact the bridge team at Chronos.
All right, guys, that's really good, because I'd like to provide some liquidity for Chronos. I like what you guys have done, and thank you very much for your time and the talk. We appreciate you.
All right, Jen.
As always, guys, thank you for joining us every other Thursday for DeFi Talks. I just wanted to do a little quick shout out to our guest, Ella Nashwari. And thank you again to our host. If you guys came into the talk late, remember we do have a recording available on YouTube. We'll be sharing the link on Twitter, or you can find it at EverRise's official YouTube channel. Thanks so much. I hope everyone has a great rest of their night, and good morning for those of you guys who are on the other side of the world.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you, guys. Hope everyone has a great night, great day.